All right, welcome to week 12, the final week of the 2020 WebCenter Half Marathon Contest and our 12-week action plan training series. And we're going to talk today about one of the most important aspects of any business, and that really is customer management, how to be the best customer manager. And we'll tie it directly to the WebCenter division, but just know that everything that we discuss will also apply to every other division. It'll apply to your unfranchised business. It will even apply to anything outside of your WebCenter or Market America unfranchised business as well. We're simply going to talk about how to be the best customer manager that can be. So that usually comes from onboarding a new client. So, you have made a list of candidates. You did some current research. You contacted a business owner to set a consultation appointment. They agreed. You sat down, you had a consultation appointment, you did a discovery meeting, you learned more about their wants, their needs, and you have an idea of some potential solutions. You then closed them and scheduled an appointment with a product specialist for a website demo or a digital marketing product demonstration with hopes that that product specialist could really speak to the solution that this business owner or this candidate really needs to move their business forward, right? Whether it's to increase revenue, decrease expenses, maybe streamline some business practices, improve customer engagement, whatever it is, you then have the opportunity to have a sale. You have followed up, or the product specialist has followed up on your behalf, and then you receive this incredible email that says, congratulations, you made a sale. So what next, right? I really like to say that now the work really begins, because you're going to continue to build that relationship. You're going to continue to cultivate the relationship over, an infinite period of time, an indefinite period of time, even long after maybe they're a client of yours. You want to really make sure that a relationship first, retail profit second. And that's something that we've continued to say over and over again here, is it really comes down to building a solid relationship that adds tremendous value, right? So you follow the 5 C's simple sales system. You've prospected, you've data mined, you've come to a point where now you have delivered a sale, right? And that sale is certainly, just the product, but this isn't a tangible product. It's not a physical product. But even if it were, the best thing that you can do is make sure that your client has the best experience with that product, the best experience using that product. And if they have any challenges, where do you go? How do you resolve it, right? So the first thing that you really want to do when you have a sale or a new client coming on board is to thank them for their business. Even if it's an existing client purchasing a new product, you still want to thank them for their business. They've got so many options and so many choices out there in the marketplace, but they chose you, and they chose you for a reason, right? So it's important to thank them. You then want to gather information for the design wizard, the project manager, or the digital marketing product form, right? So you want to make sure that you are still the liaison and not just set it and forget it. It wasn't like, oh, made that sale, the email came in, great, I'm going to place the BV, I've got the retail profit, great, hopefully everything goes well, right? That's not what this is about, right? I would actually schedule a follow-up to gather information and conduct the design wizard or the DMP form with your client, right? Don't expect them to just know what to do, right? But let them know what they can expect from MA Web Center. So once a sale has been made and they have a digital marketing product or a design product, what's going to happen is they're going to get reached out by MA Web Centers from a project manager welcoming them. It's going to be an email. They're then going to have a link, which is going to have information like the design center agreement, right? So they need to sign an agreement form. It could be the digital marketing product agreement form. They then are either going to have a link to the design center or to the DMP form, where all that information needs to be gathered ahead of time before the project can move any further. So it's in your best interest to stay on top of this, right? That agreement needs to be signed, and this form, online form in the wizards need to be completed before anything can move forward. And we've seen a lot of bottlenecks here. This is where, if there's any stopgap, that's where it is. It's because there's either miscommunication or there's assumptions, and we want to make sure that we move forward as quickly as possible because they purchased the product and the service. So we talk about the design center. All packages can be purchased at the time of website activation as part of the purchase, or it can be done down the road. Maybe they have a redesign. Maybe they purchased a do-it-yourself package and then a month or two later decided they wanted to purchase a design. It doesn't matter. When the purchase on the design center happens, your client is contacted by phone within 2 business days. And typically what happens is a business owner doesn't recognize the phone number and either doesn't answer it because they don't recognize the Las Vegas phone number. So it may go to voicemail. It might have a full inbox. So you want to make sure that you stay on top of your client to make sure they receive the appropriate communication, right? Now, the project manager is going to help get the ball rolling, get those forms. But from that point on, it's just about getting the information, such as pictures, documents, maybe websites that your client likes or the look and feel, maybe a font type, maybe a layout. All of that is important, right? So our team does an excellent job making sure that the projects continue to move forward. But this only happens when the clients are responsive and they're engaged in the process. There's going to be some times where the client needs to proof it, needs to review a design. They need to either reject it or approve it. If they reject it, they need to know, how would you like us to make it any changes, right? So that communication is very important. Now, anything that is going to stall is going to happen on this communication side of things. So you want to make sure that as a liaison, you're not getting in the way, but you're helping your client get the information over to MA Web Centers and the project manager. At the same time, you want to build a great relationship with the project manager, because if they're having any challenges, they can turn to you for assistance to work with your client. Right. So the design center adds tremendous value. Now, certainly there's profits involved, there's BV involved, but more than that, it's all about client retention. It's about fulfillment. It's about getting this product launched and fulfilled as quickly as possible, as seamlessly as possible, with the best experience, to make sure that you have a client that is getting everything that they wanted out of the product. And then, of course, you're going to build that relationship to then have add-on products and services or potential referrals. So your job is to support the project manager, right? Because sometimes a client needs a little help, right? Getting some information. They might not have any ideas. So you might have to sit down with them, have a meeting and say, great, what kind of color scheme do you like? What websites do you like? Do you want the navigation on the top of the website, or do you want it down the left-hand panel? Do you want a header or a hero image, or do you want a slideshow, or do you have a video header that you would like? What types of things do you want on your services page? What information do you want on our About Us page? Do you want pictures of your staff members? Right? You might have to ask them some of these questions to get them thinking. And for those that really just don't have any ideas, or maybe they say they don't have time. This is their business and it's how they're going to market their business. So they should really invest the time, but sometimes you might get pushback. So simply ask questions like, well, what websites do you like? What do you like about them? Are there any websites that you could reference that we could review, or that we could maybe mimic a little bit in terms of the layout? Are there any that you don't like? Is there anything that happens on a website that you absolutely do not want to see? Because that's going to be information that's important for the project manager to relay to the designers as well. So you might have to have some hands-on. So again, you're earning a handsome retail profit, an incredible amount of BV and ongoing BV on these sales. So it really deserves the attention and your investment of time as well. So your job is to support your clients and to stay in touch, right? So how do you support your clients? Well, through the design process, we talked about that. How about leveraging customer care, working with your client to teach them the phone numbers and how to use text support, the live chat support, the online help guide, as well as calling in, maybe doing a three-way conference call with the support line, 866 web help, right? Call that phone number with them, do a conference call, and show them how easy it is to navigate that system. And of course, sharing resources, right? Ongoing, sharing tips and tricks and some of the things that we push out to help your client get educated about digital marketing. So staying in touch while certainly saying thank you. How about engaging clients with MA Web Centers, right? Leveraging the tools and resources of the larger company that's supporting you will help, right? Because it's not going to all fall on your shoulders. How about a monthly check-in, maybe a weekly check-in? Just, hey, how are things going? What's new in business? How are things impacted with you? Do you have any specials or sales coming up? And of course, staying in touch is going to take organization, right? You're going to have to stay organized, which means you're going to have to schedule things in your calendar, maybe even on a certain day. Maybe it's a follow-up Friday, or the 5th week of the month you're going to dedicate to existing client communication. So How would you prefer, someone thanks you for their business, right? So we talk about professional gratitude. Is it in an email? Is it in a phone call? Is it maybe offering them a little shop.com gift card, right? Maybe it's something a little bit more personal. However you're comfortable thanking your new clients, just make sure you do it, right? That's the most important thing. Something more personal might be a handwritten note. Maybe you buy some letterhead, or maybe you purchase a bunch of like gift cards or thank you cards, and just don't sign your name. Write a little note, right? Thank clients for their business. Edify tech support at all costs, right? They're going to be the ones supporting you and your clients. So work with tech support. And like we said, just ongoing, stay in touch. You never know where this relationship is going to lead in a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road, right? So as a web center owner, you've got teams to leverage, right? So don't feel like it's, while you might feel self-employed or a solopreneur, you've got a large company that is backing you. You've got sales teams, design teams, technical support teams, billing teams, and they're going to work on behalf of you, right? So at every stage of the sales process, your job is to simply connect people with the appropriate party, right? Connecting people is really what you are. You become the liaison. So you want to make sure that you are clear with your role, and make sure that you outline those expectations with your clients as well, right? You want to be clear with them on your voicemail, right? So you might have a voicemail message that says, thank you for calling. Sorry, I can't reach your phone. If it is an emergency, please leave a message. Or for technical support or customer care, please call our support center at and leave the phone number, or email me at, right? However you prefer them to get in touch with you, let them know in your voicemail message. How about email autoresponders? How about your signature line in your emails? Your signature line should not only have your direct contact information, it should also say, for technical support, please contact, and it should have the email address as well as the phone number of MA Web Centers. That's a great way to constantly remind your clients of their support teams as well. So, are there challenges? Of course. Of course there are going to be challenges, right? We're not going to say that there aren't. It is business. So there are certain ways that you should approach challenges and obstacles, right? We know that clients may have issues. There's two sides to every story, right? The first thing that you need to do is you need to identify what the challenge is, and then who can you contact to connect them with, right? Who is the right person? Who is the right department that may be able to solve this or research it for you and your client? We're not saying to agree with the client. We're not saying to defend the client. We're not saying to defend MA Web Centers. We're simply saying that you don't have enough information on either side, but you can certainly put them in touch with the right parties, and that you're willing to do so, right? So what should you do not do? Well, empathize, but don't draw conclusions, right? A lot of web center owners will take sides of the client and then try and beat up MA Web Centers, but you don't realize what's being communicated on the other side. Some web center owners take the sides of MA Web Centers and then alienate their client. So you need to hold a strong middle ground and just be very diplomatic, right? That is your job. So let them know that you've heard them. Whatever it is, I understand. I hear you. You might have to clarify. Let me clarify that this is what I'm hearing from you. That lets them know that they've been heard. You say, I'm going to reach out to some appropriate contacts right now to see if we can get this resolved. And then you look into it. Don't just tell them that and then leave it and hope it goes away, sweep it under the rug. It won't happen. So you want to make sure that you reach out to the appropriate parties. Is it the project manager, right? Is it someone in the digital marketing team? Is it a billing issue? Is it a technical issue? Is it a customer service issue? Is it a design or a website product issue? Whatever it is, you need to identify that, and you need to know that for our clients, most likely you're going to be reaching out to MA Web Centers, right? help@mawebcenters.com, but you can always copy our internal address, mawebcenters@marketamerica.com, so we can stay in touch in that line of communication as well. We can be in that thread. Now, when you pass along a challenge to be researched, it must be submitted in writing. It has to be submitted in writing so that we can have the issue documented. We can research it, get it to the appropriate parties, and we have a written documentation back and forth through the entire process. You may talk to a trainer at a training. You may talk to them on a Facebook, but Facebook Messenger, a text message, a WhatsApp message is not the appropriate arena to discuss any challenges or issues. You've got to do it through email, mawebcenters@marketingamerica.com, or the director of MA Web Centers, or contacting MA Web Centers directly. That's how we're going to get things addressed. So you'll know many times if there's a post in a Web Center owner support group, if there's a text message, if there's something that's brought up at a live event, it's always going to come back to, please send that in writing. It's got to be in writing. And that's to protect you, the Web Center owner. It's to protect the client and to protect MA Web Centers, right? We need to make sure that everything is clearly stated so that we can really get to the bottom of it. And in many cases, what we do is that we are going to uncover what the real challenge is. And in most cases, it's just a miscommunication, and we will get on top of it immediately. Okay. Now, what are some things that you should leverage as a Web Center owner and really as a business professional is having your own domain name. I strongly encourage you getting your own domain name so you have that professional feel, right? Rather than jason@gmail.com, have your business name at businessname.com, jason@businessname.com. So very important to do that, have a domain-based email address, but then also reach out to your clients using that professional email address, but also leverage our tools and our campaign management tool, right? So using that email marketing tool is a huge advantage that you have in your back pocket, is a great way to constantly communicate with your candidates and your existing clients. So email campaigns, you can create email templates and send them out just like your candidates and prospects can, just like your Web Center clients can. They have an email marketing tool if they're on standard monthly hosting or higher. And so can you, right? That monthly service fee at standard is where they get access to this campaign tool, right? So we shouldn't say that it's just hosting. It is really a standard monthly support fee, right? Which includes hosting. So basic does not include it, but monthly managed and standard do. So the email templates are beautiful, right? Beautiful layouts for email campaigns available to you and your customers. We've got some web solutions themes that are integrated, right? Simply just add your own messaging, right? Just add in your own messaging, add your own photos, whatever you need to do. You could just do a custom. You could do it from scratch if you want, but look at this. You could even send out holiday campaigns. How critical is that in today's world, right? You should be constantly communicating with your clients. You should have, you know, a monthly email that goes out to all of your existing clients. And it might be just to check in. It might to let them know about new products and services. It might just be a holiday event coming up. Maybe it's to reference a video, an article, right? So you want to leverage all the same tools that we're recommending our clients use. You want to use that as well, right? So email marketing, you should have your own branded site, maybe a blog or maybe your own Explore MA site. You should have a social media channel, right? You should be acting as a professional. And that's how you're going to make sure that you've got a professional brand as well. So the email marketing campaign tool is very easy. Go to My Account, set up your campaign, choose the template, and then set up who you're sending it out to, and then simply just submit it, and it will be scheduled to go out. Right? I recommend sending one to yourself as a test first. So it's all about content, right? What are some things that you can do to drip out to your clients? Well, how about news about upgrades? Have you let them know about the new Oasis platform? Great email to send out. You know, what's happening in the digital space? What's happening in the internet world, website climate, digital marketing, e-commerce? Are you running any specials? Are you doing any referral campaigns? How about recent design work? Right? You can simply copy and paste some of those designs that you've seen pushed out and put it in a nice little email campaign that goes out. Testimonials, how about teams of professionals, right? Always leveraging what we have. So there's tons of great places to get shareable content, whether it's social media, on a blog, an email. The idea is that you want to be in front of your candidates and your clients ongoing. So I think the biggest thing we have to realize as Web Center owners is that while the company has social media channels that we've got emails that go out, all of these tools and resources are really useless without you, the Web Center owner, right? The tools are meant to give you an opportunity to really get the conversation started, to keep it going. They're great for effective follow-up. They're an extension of you. right? But you are still integral. Remember, this is a one-to-one marketing business. You still need to ask questions and continue to build that relationship with your clients. And you might have those clients that business times change, their needs change. And if you just sell them a website and you walk away, there's a high probability that another company is going to steal their business away from you. And it's simply because you did not respect the relationship enough to keep it ongoing. So shame on you. So the idea is customer management becomes critical to your ongoing long-term success. If you want more referral business, you want your name to be referred, then you need to do a great job with your account management, right? And you'll talk to most of our top web center owners. They don't have to go out there and necessarily hunt for new business. They have business searching for them in the form of referrals. So some customer manager tips, right? Email and call to check in with your clients. Put it in your schedule. I don't think there's one web center owner that has enough clients that they can't reach out, weekly or monthly to their entire database, right? There's plenty of ways to do that. Conduct the design wizard with them, right? Work with the project manager. Do the DMP intake form with them. Be sure they schedule a tutorial and an overview of the dashboard, right? So all new clients have the ability to have a walkthrough of how to update their website. How about this? How about promote their business? Promote their website when it goes live, not only for your own purposes to say, hey, great, congratulations on a new client, but also on their behalf. Hey, everyone should visit this business. They are a new business in this area and they are phenomenal. I've had the privilege of getting to know them over the past, month. And I'm so excited that we launched their new website, but go check them out and then leave their website. Give them a review. Do a Google review, a Facebook review, a Yelp review. Review them on Angie's List, review them on The Knot, post them on social media, share their social media pages, tag them in your posts, hand out referrals, right? All of these things do something very, very valuable, right? It builds that relationship with your client, right? Edify Tech Support. If your clients are calling you for support, your job is to not just offload and delegate, but to teach your client how to leverage tech support. Do a three-way conference call, get tech support on the phone, schedule a call with tech support, right? Use the teams as an extension of your business. And of course, send them leads when and if appropriate. We just talked about that, right? It's the best thing to do is if refer business to people that you do business with. That establish trust and longevity. Right. So when you open up the 12-week action plan, you'll see week 12 is all about customer management, saying thank you, make contact for value, right? Optimize your organization, scheduling things, using the email campaign tool. It's all written in that. And of course, stay on top of your dailies, right? The daily activities lead into monthly, weekly and monthly, and that's how you're going to achieve your goals. You can't just say, I want to sell 6 websites this year and not do the daily activity. You've got to reverse engineer it. You got to identify what your goals are. You need to break it up into a monthly target. You then have to break it into a weekly target. And then you've got to have daily aims. And you either did it or you didn't. And the only way to stay on top of it is to document it. So, the 12-week action plan has all the tracking in there. You can use a notepad. You can use a CRM database. You can use an app. You can use spreadsheet, whatever you want to do. That's up to you. But the most important thing is do something. Whatever works for you, do it. So over the past 12 weeks, we helped you identify great candidates. We helped you identify how to do some current research. We taught you about digital marketing. We also talked to you about some of our products and services. We spent most of our time talking about networking, referral-based businesses. We talked about using networking groups. Talked about starting your own networking groups. We talked about how to use trade shows and different avenues where there's already people communicating or working together. We then talked about the sales process. We also talked about customer management. So, we really did go over 12 weeks of a great foundation on how to grow any business. So you have the opportunity now to review this entire 12-week action plan series and take it day by day, week by week. When you find that you might be missing out on one of these pieces, just simply review that one session, but always go back to that 12-week action plan. It really is the best place to really build a solid foundation. It's kind of like a getting started guide for web centers. And some of our top web center owners say they plan to do a 12-week action plan every quarter. So every 90 days, they're basically printing out a new 12-week action plan, or working their way through the basics. And that way they don't get distracted by all the other things, and they stay really consistent on the 5 C's: a candidate list, current research, contacting businesses, holding consultation meetings, and then closing them into demo appointments, right? Those 5 C's, and then following that 12-week action plan, make sure that they're always just got a solid foundation. And as they onboard new Web Center owners, it's very easily duplicated and imprinted. So again, thank you for joining us for this entire 12-week action plan series. And you'll be able to visit this on the YouTube channel as well as on mawc411.com.